We didn't discuss much on the phone sign in because I recorded I recorded my screen and then the file was corrupt, so there was nothing I could do. But in this video, I'm going to explain the phone sign in clearly this time so you understand everything. Let's switch back to Android Studio. You know, in the signing activity is where the process actually starts because we navigate from the signing activity to the input phone number class or activity. So let's open up that activity, input phone number. Now here we are just getting a phone number from the user and then we are trimming it and then sending it as an intent to the other activity, which is this. We also check if the number is not equal to null and then we start the activity called verification code activity to class. So let's open it. So once this activity starts, the first thing that runs is a send verification code method. Here I call the code that was sent from the other activity from an intent.getString extra and then call the method called send verification code, which takes in the number as a parameter. So here is the method. The method is a phone auth. Oh, sorry. I initialize the phone auth provider and then I just called the method called verify phone number. The verify phone number method takes in parameters 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first parameter is the actual number that is going to verify, which in this case is +234, the country code Nigeria. Then I concatenate the number into that string. Then the second parameter is the interval in which the SMS is supposed to arrive. So here I just said 60 seconds, which is a minute. So if the SMS doesn't arrive in a minute, the process will stop. Okay, but you can add a button for the user to resend the SMS if the SMS didn't arrive at the particular time. That is, I think I'll do that in another tutorial. Here you just specify where the action is going to take place, whether in the main thread or in the background thread. And then lastly is a callback, which is the following code here, which creates a callback and then call the on verification code complete method and the on verification fail method and lastly the on code sent method. So let me explain the first one, which is the on verification code complete. So here we're just getting the code if the SMS was actually sent to the number. So if the code is not equal to null, we set the edit text to the code that was sent. The application automatically detects the SMS, and then when we get back the SMS, we insert it. The application inserts the code automatically in the edit text. But sometimes this doesn't work automatically. So when you receive the message, you have to set it yourself manually. But here we are doing it automatically. So after that, we verify the code. So let's scroll down to the method that verifies the code. This is the method that verifies the code. It takes in the code as the parameter and also checks if the code is not equal to null. Then while it is verifying the code, we fire up a progress dialog to let the user know that something is actually going on. The phone auth's credential we assign it to the phone's provider.get credential. And the verify code ID is just an ID that identifies the code and then the actual code. This verify code ID is assigned in the on code sent. This on code sent, we assign it to the S here, and it's a global variable which I created above here. So let's scroll down. So it's actual ID for the code and then the actual code. So two arguments, the actual ID of the code and the actual code. Once we get that, we fire up another method called signing with credential, and then we pass in the credential here. So let's see the signing with credential method. The sign with credential method actually signs the user with credentials. So there's a method in Firebase Auth called signing with credential, and these credentials takes in either a credential from the phone authentication or Google sign-in credentials. So any one of them. But here we are working with phone number sign-in, so we get the credential from the phone auth credential that was provided by the phone auth provider.gets credential. Okay, here we sign with credential, we pass in the credential as a parameter, and then we check if the activity, if the task is complete. So if the task is complete, we send the user to the setup activity. You remember this intent, which we check if the user is coming from the setup activity, sorry, the signing activity, or is coming from the account activity, so that we can change the text of the button to either edit info or setup info. So this method is just to make sure that the user doesn't go back to this activity after this line of code is to make sure that the user doesn't go back to this activity after the task has been successful. So that's it, but there's another code I want to explain here. The unverification fail is just when the process failed, you just write the toast out. This start signing button is the button that when the user clicks after, if the user wants to put the phone number manually, so it's almost the same thing. I still call the verify code. So this just handles the manual situation. So in case the application didn't receive the code automatically and then do the work, then you have to do it manually. And then still after that, we still call the method called verify phone. Where is it? Verify phone. So it still does the same thing. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. If you like the video, subscribe and hit the like button, leave comments and suggestions. I will see you in the next video.